Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where me and my mom look through our comic book collection, 2 issues every time. And this time we're starting with a Marvel comic, Avengers number 156. It's a battle to the death against the deadly weapons of Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. And it looks like Scarlet Witch is injured.
She broke her arm or something. She's in a sling. So
old-fashioned. And Vision is phasing.
He's phasing. He's going through a phase. This is from 1976. I got this issue a couple days ago at our local comic store, Pop's Comics. And I got it mainly for the Dr. Doom cover because he's classically a Fantastic Four villain. And, you know, he pops up all over the place. I think one of the first 5 or 6 issues of Spider-Man faces off against Dr. Doom, which is really weird because it seems like Spider-Man would be hopelessly outclassed. But
by Dr. Doom?
Yeah, Dr. Doom fights all the Fantastic Four at the same time. He can fight all the Avengers and then Spider-Man. But
he's so witty. It's that wit that carries him.
Well, they're saying they're going to bring back Dr. Doom into the MCU, so it'll be good to see him interact with the Avengers in one of these early issues. And this is a issue where Dr. Doom teams up with the heroes, even though the cover would have you believe otherwise.
Okay,
He's not really the main antagonist of this story.
He's got like his thrusters going, and then you turn the page and it's a little gun.
Yeah, it looks like they're at a skyscraper fighting, but none of this takes place in a skyscraper. So the Private War of Dr. Doom. This title, I think, intertwines with Supervillain Team Up, which was a series that featured Dr. Doom, and he was teaming up with like Namor, I think, and Red Skull, and maybe Magneto was in there.
They kind of have the same chill, you know? They all have the same vibe going on.
Yeah. So
Red Skull. Ugh.
Yeah, Red Skull is kind of a jerk. You think if Dr. Doom's got a Romani background, he wouldn't like Red Skull being like a genocidal Nazi or whatever, as opposed to all the non-genocidal Nazis.
Right.
Wait a minute. So we begin with the last page, I take it, of the previous issue. I don't know in the previous issue, but they say, instant replay department. If you think you've seen this scene before, you have briefly last issue. And if you haven't seen it before, where were you, faithless one? I like how they kind of square off Vision's word bubbles. They're not like pointy, but they're a little more deliberately rectangular.
And I like how he calls him by his full name, Von Doom.
And he calls him Doctor a lot. Good evening, Doctor. I've been looking for you. You have found me, Vision, and now we will learn if an android can die.
What a jerk!
If I die, so will you, Von Doom. Listen, I have an offer. A heartbeat of silence. Then Doom nods, and the Vision begins to explain.
You know, I wonder how they're going to portray Doom in the MCU. I hope they give him the Doom qualities that we all love in the comics, you know? Because sometimes he can be silly and so vain that it's
he's very
hilarious.
Melodramatic.
Yes.
And cartoonish in his villainy, that I feel like that's why we haven't really had a good Dr. Doom in the movies yet. I feel like they struggle to get his look right. The same thing with The Thing, where if it's too realistic looking, like when they had Michael Chiklis in that suit, it's just a little funky looking. It takes, I don't know, it just looks like a guy in a suit, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm assuming for The Thing they'll probably go full CGI because they've done that with Groot and Hulk, and that'll probably look better. They'll probably do like motion capture. I don't know about Dr. Doom. I feel like I've seen cosplays that are better than the movies.
Yes.
But since it's Robert Downey Jr., I'm wondering how much time is he going to be behind the mask versus, you know, kind of Doom's whole thing is that his face is rarely revealed. I was looking through a lot of the old issues, and even when somebody does see his face, the camera or whatever's behind him, so we don't get to see how. And I think that I remember reading that there was kind of different schools of thought about that within Marvel, where like Jack Kirby, I think, was the one who in his head, Dr. Doom actually didn't have a very bad facial scarring, but because he's such a vain person, a minor amount drove him insane, and that was kind of like an interesting aspect of his character. And I think for Stan Lee, it was more like, no, he's like super disfigured, but they don't ever really reveal it fully, so.
I think, like, I don't know. I'm
At
a
least
little
in these classic ones. I think in the more modern comics, they show his gnarled face more often.
Yeah. I'm not, like, angry that they're doing they're doing...
I'm angry. I'm gonna riot.
But I feel like
angry.
he can capture part of Doom's personality. I think that the way that Chris Pratt can be very silly with Guardians and serious.
Oh yeah.
I think if they
any actor, if they're good enough, they can capture
that
personality. And I almost think it would be cool if he played him, but then we never actually saw under the mask, so it doesn't matter what he looks like, that he would look like Tony Stark, that it would just be a good performance.
That's a good point, yeah.
So anyway, the reason that Vision has an offer for Doom, as we see in these flashbacks, is that they have a mutual enemy. So he says, no doubt you've wondered why we attacked you, Doctor, particularly in view of the non-aggression pact established between America and Latveria. Fool! That's one thing that he likes to start off aggressive. Idiot!
Yes.
He's like Dwight from The Office. I already know why you assaulted me. Because of the slave collars attached to you by Atuma. If this is all you have to tell me... No, Doom, you've been told the superficial facts. But are you aware that I was captured by an Atlantean warrior with a sonic beam? That was in Avengers 154.
Now that you called him Dwight, I can't unsee his mask like the baloney face.
What type of Doom is best? False! Black Bear. So we get a flashback of Tyrak the Treacherous. He's a minion of Atuma. You might remember that Atuma is a recurring Namor villain.
Okay,
He's like an evil leader of
Mer.
the Mer people, the underwater people. And he's created this surgically modified Atlantean named Tyrak the Treacherous. I guess he surgically made his nipples shoot out gas.
He took down Scarlet Witch with a nipple.
Yeah. And so, Vision is saying, a creature so powerful he disposed of 5 of Earth's mightiest heroes as easily as you or I might swat a hapless fly. Doesn't that seem odd to you, Von Doom? I like this panel of Iron Man surprises the Treacherous, grabs his front breastplate and crushes it.
God, wouldn't that do his heart?
His reactor heart.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was, has that always been a part of his character, or is that a more modern thing where the reactor keeps the shrapnel from his heart? I'd have to, I've been revisiting Spider-Man from the very first issues, Fantastic Four, Defenders.
Oh, Defenders, wow.
And X-Men. I haven't got to Avengers, Iron Man, or Cap, or Thor, so I've been going through all the old black and white reprints of the first one, so I'm looking forward to getting through Iron Man. So Doom says, odd in what way? Or odd in, it almost looks like wax. Odd in what wax, android? In what way? The Vision smiles, a cold robotic smile. Simply this, Doctor. If Tyrak were powerful enough to defeat the Avengers single-handedly, why didn't Atuma send him against Hydrobase? An interesting point, Vision. Dr. Doom snarls. Continue. He snarls at him.
Continue.
Atuma believed the Submariner was defending this floating isle, and while Tyrak had the power to slay Namor, the Submariner would have recognized him as Atuma's lieutenant, and realizing Atuma was renewing his struggle for world conquest, might have chosen to escape and act to halt that conquest. Doom mutters. So, he used you as cat's paws. But instead of finding Namor here, you found Dr. Doom in crushing defeat. He just opens his arms and they all go flying. So I guess Atuma and Tyrak had sent the Avengers, you notice the obedience collars.
Yeah.
Only for them to be captured by Doom, and he puts them in a really nice geometric, symmetrical. I've got 6 slots left on the torture chamber.
It's like,
so
my Pokedex isn't full yet.
True enough, Von Doom, the Vision concedes, betraying no emotion. We became your prisoners. I managed to escape with the help of Captain America and the Scarlet Witch. I could have freed my comrades, but I chose instead to come to you with a proposition. I suggest we join forces against Atuma. There is a silence. Doom's gaze is cold and intense. You have a rationale, I presume? Atuma is moving cautiously, as if he were playing for high stakes indeed. I suspect he has discovered the means to create an army of warriors like Tyrak. Perhaps you would hold out. Perhaps you would hold out the longest, Doom, but eventually, inevitably, your Latveria would fall to such an army. My kingdom, the world, under Atuma's heel? Impossible.
Hilarious face.
Yeah, I like how he grabs his chin with his armored chin with his armored gauntlet. Impossible, yet come, android. So, I always like when Doom has to join up with the heroes. I feel like he's a way more interesting character when he has to begrudgingly help them against some greater threat.
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw that happen was in Fantastic Four. I think it was a villain called the Overmind, where they were fighting him and nobody could prevail. So Sue went to Latveria and said, I thought you were a man of honor.
Oh, that's right.
And I think sometimes they play against his pride of don't you want to be the one to destroy the heroes and not some two-bit chump like Atuma? So Doom's metallic footfalls echo in the stone corridor. Several steps behind, the Vision matches his pace with silent strides. Though potentially treacherous, Doom is now an ally and perhaps the Avengers' only hope. The Vision knows that had he released his fellow heroes, their emotions likely would have led them to attack Doom. Emotion, something alien to this synthesoid mind. And yet, does he not feel love for Wanda? Or does he merely think he feels? For the 1000th time in recent weeks, he thinks of Simon Williams, a man who died long ago, whose brain patterns were imprinted on the blank slate of his man-made mind. Simon Williams, Wonder Man, a man who at the moment is miraculously, mysteriously alive. And so we zip to Wonder Man, who's hanging out with another guy with a W on his chest. That's probably why they're friends. That's the Wizard, and that's Wonder Man.
Wow.
I'm glad I'm not in a yellow costume and they call me the Wizard. So Wonder Man, you might, they kind of recap it here, but you might remember was originally an Avenger. I think he's famous for also being like a movie star.
Yeah.
In his alter ego.
Wasn't he featured in the issue with Dave Letterman?
I think he was, yeah. And that's one thing is this 70s version, the green and red. This is one of the things where I think the more modern costume for Wonder Man I enjoy better. A lot of times I prefer the classic looks of the characters, but Wonder Man gets a makeover, I think, around West Coast Avengers, or at least that's what I related to, where he's got more of like a black tank top with like a W, and he's got those big red sunglasses that are it's like those big sunglasses your grandparents wear over their normal glasses when they're driving. But anyway, Vision was kind of patterned after Wonder Man. Wonder Man supposedly died. And I was surprised to find, I think Wonder Man goes back to the first 10 issues. Maybe issue 8, I think, is his first appearance in Avengers. So I always think of him as a newer character from those West Coast Avengers I read growing up. But he's been in the Avengers since near the beginning. So anyway, the Wizard and Wonder Man and Namor are convening here above the water. And Wizard's kind of apologizing to Namor. You didn't have to knock him out. He knew we weren't part of Atuma's raiding party the moment he finally recognized me. So I guess Wonder Man is formidable enough to knock out Namor. I thought that was surprising because Namor oftentimes he can give all the Fantastic Four a run for their money by himself in a lot of the early FFs.
Wow.
Because he's super strong. He, in particular in water, is super fast.
In water,
he can fly with his little wing feet.
Oh, that's right. But how fast can he fly?
Fast enough. So, but yeah, Wonder Man must be pretty powerful if he can knock out Namor. And then Namor, I've been reading more modern ones from the 70s where Namor is one of the founding Defenders. So originally the Defenders is Namor, Doctor Strange, and Hulk. And I know Defenders from the later period where it's like Valkyrie, was Starhawk, is that his name? The bird-themed kind of guy.
Oh,
I think he was in it. I think Beast was a Defender for a little
yeah.
while.
Well, Beast.
I think so. I think Beast has been an Avenger, a Defender, an X-Man,
But
X-Force.
he was a Defender way back in the day with Gargoyle.
Yeah, Gargoyle was a Defender. Yeah, I believe so.
When he got a puppy and it was
oh yeah.
way back in the day.
So anyway, they're trying to figure out, they have a common enemy. I guess the wizard's name is Bob Frank. He's got two. Namor says, if you came here to stop Atuma, it appears we once again have a common enemy, Bob Frank. So the wizard dates back to the Liberty Legion. Namor, it's been decades since we fought side by side in the Liberty Legion. I'm old and gray, but you haven't changed a bit. So I guess Atlanteans age differently. That's like a World War II, I think, era. Because if you remember, Namor fought with the Allies in World War II, disappeared for a long time, was rediscovered by the Human Torch, who found him in a homeless shelter.
That's right.
In one of the early FFs. So anyway, they all figure out, well, I guess we should work together. Let's get in this Quinjet here. Meanwhile, they fear that Beast has died from the last issue, but Beast actually stowed away on the enemy ship and is hiding. So they hear his summons here. Hey, the radio. In fact, if I remember right, that's the Avengers Special Scrambler Circuit communicator. Could it be? The Beast? You were expecting Daffy Duck, maybe? Of course I'm me. I'm in Charlie Atuna's command ship. I guess that's
Charlie Atuna.
I guess that's what he calls Atuma. How did I get in? Very carefully. Glad to hear you're on our side now, subby. We'll need you. Scalehead is heading for home base. You guys follow the homing signal and be ready to attack. I'll stay out of sight and signal you at the most propitious moment. Maybe the Avengers Atuma captured and being held... maybe the Avengers Atuma captured are being held at his home base. Perhaps, and if so, we shall free them or die trying. I caution you, however.
Uh-oh.
You have to wait an advertisement to see what his caution is. If they have long been Atuma's captives, there may be little left of them to rescue. So they're thinking the worst here. Namor's powerful hands guide the Quinjet's controls, and except for the muffled roar of the engines, there is grim silence. Why are they letting Namor drive?
I know.
Is he really that good at driving? He swims everywhere and flies. But the fears of the missing Avengers' would-be rescuers are wasted, for at that moment on Hydra Base, free at last! Great feeling, huh, Iron Man? And I think that's the only thing that Yellow Jacket says.
Who is
the only thing.
The green face guy?
Isn't that weird? I think that's a printing error or something, because there's no reason for him to be...
I thought it was the lizard, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that would be... Well, the lizard, when he's in his lizard form, typically isn't very... He doesn't talk.
True.
Usually, or he's not very conversant, or... he'd be like freaking out right now. I'm not sure. Maybe you had to see it last issue. This might be, I don't know, some underwater species of guy that just has green skin. I was wondering if it was like bad coloring or a mistake or something too, because I really don't know. I have to look. So Iron Man's thinking, I hope I can get my armor back up before we do a charge against Atuma, because his armor was damaged, as we saw, by Tyrak and Doctor Doom in Supervillain Team-Up number 9. So he's in rough shape, just like Scarlet Witch has that damaged arm.
I like in the comics that Scarlet Witch is not as overpowered as she is in the movies. I mean, they made it so that they had to get rid of her.
Yeah, they kind of... It seems like the more contemporary comics really jack up her powers, because not only in that Doctor Strange movie is she like warping reality and all that stuff, but in the comics there's a storyline called House of M, where she makes all these mutants around the world lose their powers. So the mutants go from like a small but pretty big minority group of millions of people around the world to like just a few thousand or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, her powers are all over the place in terms of the spectrum. So one of the underlying things here is Vision and Scarlet Witch, I think, were recently married in this comic, but he's acting weird. And a lot of the people are thinking around Vision like he's probably feels weird because the guy his whole brainwaves are patterned on Wonder Man has suddenly appeared when we thought he was dead. Now he feels like, his identity's been displaced or something. So he's acting a little cold. Darling, I was so worried after you took off, and you left so suddenly. I thought you presumed that I deserted in fear. It seemed obvious that we needed an ally. I acquired one. Perhaps you've forgotten that I am a perfectly logical synthezoid. I could do nothing less. I didn't mean... Oh, Jan, why is he suddenly so cold? We've all been under a lot of strain lately, Wanda. I thought the Vision sorted out his identity problems a long time ago, before he and the Scarlet Witch were married. Looks like he's going through it all again. I guess with the real Simon Williams mysteriously back from the dead, he must feel conspicuously artificial.
Yeah.
So the two armored guys are conferring here, and Dr. Doom actually has a good solution, because Iron Man says, the Atlantic is a big place, Doom. How do you propose to pinpoint Atuma's ship? Fortunately, Atuma has been kind enough to provide us a beacon to follow, specifically the continuous beam of psyche energy originating from the device on his vessel which powered his now useless slave collars. Of course, I had overlooked that. We can home in on him. Yeah, like Tony Stark wouldn't think of that.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, we got to find him before he figures out that the slave collars aren't on us and disables the signal. So they drive by the screaming fish.
Yikes. Maybe Tony... Oh, wow.
Those are kind of weird,
Those are very
weird toys.
Ew.
Why wouldn't you just want them to have the mask and look like the character? Why do you also want them to have a baby head if you're the audience for this toy?
Your sister used to get so freaked out by those dolls that had like the porcelain baby face.
They're a little creepy.
Oh, she used to get so angry.
So inside the craft, Beast is sneaking around but gets discovered. He fights a little bit, but he gets hit. This shock staff can strike dead the mightiest killer shark. But he lives? Excellent. We will give him a slow death that will provide us some sport.
Jeez.
Yeah, if it could kill a killer shark. They're pretty big. You think it would really mess up the Beast.
I don't know. He's a mutant.
Maybe the fur insulates him a little bit. So we see the Wizard and Wonder Man and Namor arrive in their Quinjet, and Namor's like dives in head first without making a plan.
He's a hothead.
And Wizard's going to stay with the ship. He's like an old man now. He was in World War II, and it's 1970 already.
Holy cow.
What did I say, 1976? Is that what it... Oh, I can't remember. 76, so even later. So Wonder Man goes in, and we see that Tyrak is still too powerful. He just smashes Namor.
Holy.
They've got some device that can jack up Tyrak's power, as they alluded to earlier. It's this thing. It's a modified cell stimulator. You know, one of those. At last, Namor lies helpless at my feet. Excellent, Tyrak. Soon this entire planet will be as helpless before us. Within minutes, you'll be ready for another dose of this modified cell stimulator, then another. Already you are the mightiest single being on Earth. Shortly, your power will be unimaginable. Wizard, did you pick that up? Gotta do something. Now, it's all up to me. No one else is left. I'm scared, Wiz. Not for me. I'm afraid I'll blow it. I don't know what to do. Wonder Man, hold it. There's something on the radar. A ship, approaching at impossible speed. It's here already. I see it, but who can it be? Far below, Wonder Man hears the Wizard's anguished question, followed by a split-second infinity of silence. Then, the Avengers. It's the Avengers and Dr. Doom. But, we'll tell you later, Wiz. Right now, we got some avenging to do. So they go in their amphibious craft and start blasting all the fortifications here. And they deploy. And, you know, it's a lot of beating up minions and grunts before they get to Tyrak and Atuma. That is a weird looking hole.
That is a really weird hole. Wow. Boom.
What's your favorite onomatopoeia in a comic? Boom, whap, zap. I always like crackoom.
Oh, crackoom, yeah.
That's a good one.
You don't see that one often either.
They save it for the really hard hits. So, Captain America's thrown his shield. Nice work, Shellhead. Your repulsors are almost as good as my shield. And no, I won't trade. Vision becomes what is the word? Translucent or
yeah.
He shifts.
Porous,
He phase shifts, and the lasers just go right through him. It's weird that some of these Atlanteans seem to have like mustaches and beards and stuff, but they're very like reptilian in some ways.
Yeah.
So anyway, they dispatch with these minor villains, only to see Tyrak, but bigger, much bigger, and stronger. Puny one, stronger than all of you. Ugh!
He's had another dose.
Punches 3 of them with one punch. Meanwhile, they need me. Lucky I followed them. I thought they might need my help. It's weird too that old comics really like to do the word and then they stammer a little bit. And that's such every issue of every comic, Marvel or DC. It's such a common.
Yeah, it really gives them that human doubting themselves kind of. You know.
I was reading some newer comics, and you do see that kind of halting, like to show the emotion, but I think it's less common. And that some of the dialogue in the newer comics is so dense compared to the older ones. So he punches him and gets him off balance, so Iron Man can blast him. And Scarlet Witch has one arm to do, she says half a hex is better than none, and she dislodges some machinery to clong him in the head.
I like the clong. That's pretty good.
Yellow Jacket and the Wasp are shooting him in the ears. Cap shoots him or hits him in the eye with that shield, and he's he's on the ropes.
Can you imagine the Wasp making herself, or Ant-Man, so small as she throws him right through his ear, right through his brain? That would be an interesting way to take him out.
They strike as one, their fists as tightly synchronized as if guided by the same mind. So Wonder Man and Vision are like punching in unison. I guess they would think to attack him. They advance as one. They're in a focused final effort. They're synchronized because they have similar brain waves.
Yeah.
Your brain gives off waves. He's got the same ones. Indeed, in many ways they were. We did it. He's down. Nice work. Now let's go find Atuma. Seconds later. So they're kind of alluding that, maybe they got to choose one or the other, or they'll find some way to merge them, or I'm not sure. I haven't read this era of Avengers. So seconds later, there he is. But from the look of him, somebody nastier than us already found him. Look, there's the beast in Namor, too. Ugh. Atuma, I have waited for this moment. First, you will tell me what transpired here. Doom, stole, cell stimulator, gone. Don't hit me. Enough! My cape. You shall not wear it another second. Now crawl away from me, worm, before I... It's weird to hear he's so rational. He's like calling people worm.
Wow.
Also, what does his cape do? Because he can become, he can go through walls or whatever.
Right.
Without it, apparently. He just likes it for the fashion. It's weird that Atuma's like, I like this.
This is cool.
So they reconvene with the Wizard and the Quinjet. And meanwhile, Atuma's like, I'm going to blast him right out of the skies. But Namor stays his hand. I guess Namor was knocked out with Beast. But he
that
came
might be
just in time.
my favorite in this book.
Wham. The Avengers showed you mercy, and you would repay them with death? Namor. And so the avenging sun will spare you not. Sometime later, as the corridors of the Hydro Base once again know the tread of doom. Doom, what happened? What is that thing? Speak, you treacherous steel shark. Where are the Avengers? Jeez. Most likely they are dead, wench. A fate your insolence has earned you. I shall spare you this time. Oh. They must be from Supervillain Team Up or, I don't know who these characters are. The cell stimulator, yeah. The U.S. government scientists who invented this device did so by accident. They did not comprehend the potential of its cell-stimulating powers, or rays, much less the principle behind them. But I shall dismantle this machine, analyze it, discover its secret.
No.
But before we find out what happens,
we have a new...
The Incredible Hulk and the Green Thumb.
With really nice hair.
He combed it. The Hulk has been befriended by Cousin Betsy, the plant lady. Now, dear green thing, I'm only too happy to take you in with all my all my vegetables and plants. Hulk no remember how he got here, but Hulk happy. Finally find place where Hulk can find peace. A nice cool shade plant to sit under. Ah, my beautiful plants, my own little gang. What fine specimens you are. Rhoda, Marie, Artie. I want you to meet the Hulk. That jade giant is going to join us in our next robbery of diamonds and other precious things. What a specimen, and so green. Hulk no join strange plants. Hulk no like people or plants. Hulk want to be alone. I warn you, green gargantua, join us or else the artichoke chokes. Go get him, Artie.
Gee.
See, green Goliath, when I talk to my plants, they listen. Hulk always wind up same, double-crossed, first by puny humans, now by puny plant, now Hulk mad. Forget the diamonds, save the delicious Hostess fruit pies. All of them, apple, cherry, lemon, with the real fruit filling and the light tender crust. A criminal gang of plants that loves juicy Hostess fruit pies? What's next? Next, Hulk go find peace in city, far away from green things. Why would the plants want to eat other plants, like an apple?
Yeah. They're...
Bizarre.
Ooh.
That's a weird one, too, because a lot of times in the Hostess, they use the cakes to subdue the villain. Be like, I'd rather eat this Hostess fruit pie than do crime. In this one, it's like part of the loot. And some of them, I guess I have noticed that the Hostess cakes are the target of the heist, but in this one they're just kind of thrown in haphazardly.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like, oh, and they happen to fall out of the grip of whoever was holding them. So the Beast says, "And rule the world. Hey, Doomsy, was that you I saw on the late show last night? Shut up and hit him, Beast." What?
What?
You bet, Iron Man. Oof, walk. Vain fool, overconfident in your own speed, you underestimated mine. So Doom is holding his own against all the Avengers, but Vision can materialize through the wall, put his dematerialized hand through the cell stimulator and jack it all up. It's all messed up.
Nice.
The machine destroyed. That will cost you your inhuman existence, android. Doom will live to see you uncreated. I like how stiff he is as he takes
Yes.
All of you shall know Doom's vengeance, but I will choose the time and place. He's getting away. Doom's no fool. With the machine gone, there was no reason to continue the fight here. Yes, and
He
I'm
always
afraid
reminds me of the meme now of Skeletor coming in and,
Yes.
you fool, and then, to weird again, as he runs away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's smart, though. He knows when to cut and run. That's why you always never know when Doom's going to pop up again. He's not going to get locked up. The sudden calm after the turmoil and tension of recent days is momentarily unreal, and it is with some difficulty the reunited heroes wind down, all but two. Vision, please talk to me. Please tell me what's wrong. I wish to be alone. I can't get through to him. I only seem to make him feel worse. A beautiful lady like you? Never. Hey, where'd Captain America go? Right here, Wonder Man. Just stepped out for a minute. I saw something I wanted to investigate. To find out about that mysterious something, check out Supervillain Team Up. I like how like a whole issue of another comic can transpire and where Cap like went off screen for a little while. Like he was there.
Yeah.
He was there. He even watched Doom. So like that comic's gonna be what, 3 minutes long? I don't know. So that's the end. We do have another product promotion comic. Spider-Man and Captain America Ricochet to Freedom. An alien ship departs, leaving behind a giant spidery web to strangle the hopes of freedom. The president has summoned Captain America and Spider-Man. Gentlemen, the country turns to you in this time of crisis. We have only one hope, Project Ricochet. Those launchers have the power to do the job. It will be a bicentennial smash. So Spider-Man gets in the chamber, and the
entire
army is pulling the trigger with a big rope. At a
Wow.
speed beyond belief, the two superheroes race toward the ominous web. Look, Cap, this is a breeze with those Ricochet launchers. We made a hole even big enough for you. For sure, Spidey. That's all he gets to say all comic. For sure, Spidey. Kids, have a Ricochet adventure of your own. Get the Ricochet Racers Spider-Man set. It comes with Spider-Man and Captain America Racers, launcher and spider web. Wow. Available at a toy store near you.
But the what was it, 1770 or 1976? That was a big year. That was big.
Yeah, I guess. 200-year anniversary.
Everything was based on that.
How is that a patriotic toy? It's got Captain America, I guess.
Yeah, but even like
remember how the founding fathers used to shoot ricochet guns with costume heroes in them?
Everything had a bend towards it, you know.
That's how we defeated the redcoats.
Redcoats don't ricochet.
Nope.
All right, so I have the world's most popular superhero.
I had the Earth's mightiest heroes.
So you can't make a move, Superman, as I bombard Earth with nuclear radiation gone wild.
Dang.
And he's trapped in a bubble of radiation.
What the heck is this?
I don't know. I wonder if it was gotten somewhere, or I don't know. Somebody archived it, or
That doesn't look like a date format, right?
No, I know. I don't know. I thought that was really weird too.
For May,
And what
the
yours was?
432nd year or day of May in the year 2.
Yours was 30 cents and mine is 30 cents?
They're from a similar era, I bet. This is what, Superman 308, and it looks like we got a copy of 1977, so pretty close, within a year.
See, and that number's up there in the top too. I don't know what that's for.
It might be a way of filing them from the, like, whoever sold this back issue or whatever. Who knows? Or some collector had some system.
So sound and fury, the sound of a planet exploding, the fury of a spreading fireball. And in the midst of the sound comes a cry, like the cry of soil in torment. It must be true. Krypton was destroyed and 3 billion people died. If that isn't true, I'm either insane or my entire life has been a lie.
Both are
This planet is mine. So yeah. This is a nice drawing of Spider-Man. Superman, though. It's nice.
Jerry Conway. I was just reading some Fantastic Four written by him. That's the funny thing when you're a kid. You tend to have... A lot of kids have a strong preference for DC or Marvel. And then you realize a lot of the same people work for both companies.
Yeah. So right here, we have a... Shove it, cousin. We're in Krypton Memorial Room.
Shove it?
Yeah, I know. We've gone over
like
this.
Literally, like,
yeah.
Not like buzz off or something.
We've gone over this half a dozen times. There never was a planet called Krypton, so stop being maudlin. You were born right here on Earth to parents who were victims of a radioactive accident, and that is all.
Oh, I thought she was saying like shove the class thing over, but yeah, she's just being a jerk.
Yeah, I know.
I like that horizontal panel though.
Yeah, and how he's coming out of this bottom panel.
He's ticked.
He goes, I know. He grabs her. He's, I'm warning you, Supergirl. Don't treat me like a child. And don't smash another display until I'm absolutely certain you're telling the truth.
You are wearing your underwear on the outside.
That's true. Are you threatening me, Superman? Maybe. I don't know. Well, you better know, because I've had it with your thick-headedness. She's rough in this one. Yeah, I've shown you the film tapes proving you were born a son of Martha and Jonathan Kent. I've told you your father and mine worked in an early atomic lab where they both received heavy doses of radiation, which affected their genes and caused us to be born with superpowers. What more proof do you need? Oh, my head's still spinning, but I'm conscious again. So we see this figure here with this nice little fin on his head. And I remember, I tracked Superman here to his fortress of solitude, wanting to destroy him. Instead, he defeated me, turning my molecular powers against me. Foreshadowing a little there. Well, that was only round 1. And they don't even give you a clue who this is other than the cover. But I like this series of him getting up and taking off.
Yeah, that's a cool black and white kind of backdrop to the, well, black and yellow, I guess. He's all white. That's kind of interesting.
So he's like, it's clear I can't fight Superman alone, even with my ability to alter my molecular structure. So he gets up and he takes off, bursting through the cousins to go find some help. And in an instant, following is gone. Stunner, the two heroes staggered, but do not fall. And when they recover, wait till I get my hands on that guy, no! He grabs her again.
Yeah, a lot of anger in this issue. Oh, we got Wonder Woman.
We have a confused
The Maltese
Superman.
cupcake.
I know. So, Wonder Woman, you must help me. You're the only one who can. How, Mr. Astor? Help me find the Maltese cupcake, that mysterious, fabled, legendary idol. I must have it because I must have it. So enter Petulia Laurie, sniveling, shadowy henchwoman, as if from nowhere. Psst. Hey, strong lady, I can tell you where the elusive Maltese cupcake is. It's rumored to be in the hands of a shady man in the district of town.
The district.
I know, district of town. Follow me, I'll take you there. That's weird. Great Aphrodite. You're looking for the Maltese cupcake? My charming lady of grace and strength, you've just been tricked. Now meet my boss, the corrupt Cindy Blue Street, better known as the Fat Lady. You'll love her wicked snarling laugh. You were looking for a shady man. Instead, you find a big lady who throws a big shadow. Ha 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 ho ho ho. And now you'll promise me to give up the search for the Maltese cupcake. Or else. But what's this on the shelf up high? It looks like half cupcake, half monster. Could it be? Cursed idol. But why such a fuss? What's so important about a stone cupcake? Ha-hee-ha! The Maltese cupcake idol is rumored to be the ancient forerunner of the modern cupcake. Great historic value for Astor, but I'm interested in what it's worth. Oh, another fallen idol. So she knocks it down. And then we have this guy. Oh, that's Astor.
He's just hauling cupcakes.
He's hauling cupcakes like a beast.
It's weird the coloring on the cupcakes makes them really stand out and not look like it's part of the comic to me.
Yeah, it's very odd. Great Hera, what a crumbly idol. That's not the Maltese cupcake. So what? My search has fortunately led me to the ultimate, a delicious Hostess cupcake. Scrumptious, mouth-watering. I love devil's food cake. And so moist. That priceless filling and chocolatey icing, worthy of the attention of any serious collector with good taste. And now for my serious work, to find a jail big enough to hold the fat lady and her evil friends.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting take that we haven't seen
I
before.
wonder how many of those Hostess things we've read. There are a lot of them.
A ton. And it doesn't matter. Each hero has faced it.
It's one of the most common reasons for them to spring into action that they all have in common, I mean.
Yeah.
Do you know Dr. Doom? No. Have you fought for Hostess cupcakes? Well, yeah, obviously. And the fruit pies, too. Yeah, don't get me started on those.
Cupcakes. So, what's the point of chasing him, Supergirl? I'm not even sure he's wrong in wanting to destroy me. After the way I behaved earlier today, perhaps I am a menace. So there's something in the previous issue here that we don't know. I just don't know. He doesn't either. I've got to go somewhere, be alone, and think. And do what? And do that, cousin. And if you need any help, just call and I'll be there. And then as soon as the man of tomorrow disappears over the horizon, Supergirl, reporting in. I've done all you've told me to do, and it seems to be working. I only pray it is the right thing. Mysterious going-ons, huh, Supergirl? Perhaps everything isn't what it seems after all. So something's up, and we don't find out in this comic, sadly enough. But it's enough to keep Clark unbalanced. And at any rate, a few moments later in Metropolis, at 344 Clinton Street, something somewhat bewildering is about to occur. And if you want to see what, you better watch very carefully. We have Superman flying in, Ordinarily, I'd just fly in through a window of my apartment, but my x-ray vision has shown me that's impractical. So I'll just have to improvise a costume switch behind the cab driver's back. And the cab driver, it let out his passengers, so he's going to shut the door. But then, oh, excuse me, Frank. People tell me I'm not the most impressive man in the world, but this is ridiculous. What? Mr. Kent? I didn't see you. How? And so he enters the building, goes up to his apartment, and Lois is there. And she's cooking him his dinner. And she said that I thought I'd offer an apology the best way I know, by making his favorite dinner. An apology for what? For the way I treated you at the office when that girl, Terry, showed up. So she got jealous and treated him badly. And so she thought that she'd make him a meal and get on his good graces. And we have Clark thinking continuously that his identity, he doesn't know who he is anymore.
It's weird to see him with a mouthful of food in his cheek. Cheeks all puffed out.
And so he's debating whether he's, is he an Earth guy? If he is, he considers it is possible to have a relationship. So he's like, and perhaps it's time I change to Lois, a toast to us and the future. Clark, you've got the most magnificent eyes. To us. And then we go elsewhere in the upper reaches of the Rocky Mountains. Other events are in progress, events of equal importance to our story. The last word I had from him, he was
equal importance to him eating food?
That's true.
Wow. It's earth-shattering.
That's true. Wow. A good point. The last word I had from him, he was here in what he called his sanctuary. He's the only one I can turn to now if he hasn't gone insane again. So now we're hearing from the finned guy, the protector. And ever since the accident which made him what he is, he's trembled on the edge of madness. Still, I've dealt with him, and he's kept my secret, and I've kept his these many years. If I could trust anyone, I could trust, and then choom! Traitor! I've told you never to come here. Never! Radion, wait! I haven't betrayed you. I've come here alone, defenseless, because I need your help. You need my help? Well, then come inside. It just turned right away.
It's almost like a peace sign on this show.
I know. That's how I interpreted it when I first saw it, too. I think it's the colors. I think if it had been on a red on a yellow background, instantly would have gotten it. Shortly, all these years, I've kept your existence a secret, as I promised. No one knows you're a survivor of a nuclear disaster at one of the nation's top secret experimental installations. And I'm not about to tell them. He's kept all the details pretty close to his chest, though. And I know how you found yourself alive after the explosion, which destroyed all your co-workers. I know how you climbed from the rubble and found your body altered. So, and then he practiced and learned how to control his powers. And then he found the protector. And he says, I know that you changed your name to fit your powers and that you sought out others with strange abilities born of the mutations like your own. That's how you found me. You taught me to develop my powers. Found him at college, UCLA it looks like. And then you swore me to secrecy, told me I should not reveal myself to the world unless absolutely necessary. But you have revealed yourself, and your presence here threatens my master plan. I like how his pose here. No, Radion, it isn't I who am the threat to your plan. The threat is Superman. Are you serious? Listen, and I'll tell you what I know. More on that conversation later. For now, we must turn our minds back to Metropolis for a moment and to an observatory at the edge of the city where Prof. Pepperwinkle is testing his new hyperspatial telescope. Oh my goodness gracious. This is simply awful. I must tell someone about it immediately. But who'd believe me? That must be horrible to discover something huge and then think, well, who's going to believe me? My name's Pemperwinkle. So then we cut back to Clark at his apartment in his jammies. And he's going into his secret room there to look at all his Kryptonian artifacts. And
hey, they've got these, I think these were book and record sets. We had this Wolfman one.
Do we really?
Spider-Man, we used to at least. I don't recognize any of the other ones, but I'm pretty sure we had that one or might still have it somewhere.
wow.
It's like I think they're oversized comics, or they're like comics that come with a little 7-inch record that narrates it, I think.
Oh, that'd be fun to play that. So Clark is in here doubting himself and doubting who, his identity. And he's crashing up these artifacts from Krypton. It's like, what are you doing? And when, click, just 5 minutes ago at Hooley Nuclear Power Plant, my clock radio turning on. And what's the news announcer saying? Authorities have yet to identify the mysterious figure attacking the station. The situation appears dangerous, and all personnel have been evacuated. We'll keep you informed with a continuing update. Need it be said, this is a job for Superman. Does he have a theme song? Okay, yep.
Yeah, obviously, everybody knows that.
Dang it. Can't believe I forgot it.
Yeah, what the heck?
So he takes off, and he finds the cops are there and everything. And then the guys are going, nothing stops that guy. We must have used 1 million rounds of ammunition. And he's still moving. Well, he won't be moving for long. Take a look. It's Superman. And the police aren't the only one aware of Superman's approach. And so
Zoran. You don't see that one all the time.
And Superman turns red. We have a couple pages of
Santa Comics.
Santa Comics.
Muscles Fast.
I thought Rudolph was like part of a abduction here.
You could get a Fonzie t-shirt for $5. Hey!
That would be hilarious. Wow. And even more ads there. And then, my entire body tingling as though I've been electrocuted. Shocked. But that's impossible. Even the protector didn't hurt me like this. And my costume, it's been blackened like burned cloth. This character has more power than I've encountered in a long time. But I can't let that stop me from doing my job. Superman doesn't realize how effective my radioactive powers can be, even against him. I can literally scorch the air around him and carbonize the oxygen on his suit. Yet I can also do far more, such as this. This is a cool little panel here. And then it cuts to show the cops he's blasting the ground, smashing it into a sort of wall. You see Superman's gonna hit. But where was it? Oh yeah, there he is. He's coming in.
Ooh.
And then this
didn't react in time.
Yeah, I love the way they did that though. That was a nice little action-packed panels. And then what?
Off balance, the Man of Steel tumbles earthward, where yet another radioactive burst catches him, trapping him in a sphere of gleaming energy. You can't move, Kryptonian. Within my proto-nuclear globe, your atomic weight is increased to 100,000 tons plus.
Wow.
You have no choice but to listen as I speak the last words you'll ever hear. Poop, poop, pee, pee, pants. You interrupted me as I was performing the most fateful act of my life, the overloading of a nuclear reactor. Yes, I'm aware of what will happen when the reactor goes wild. Fallout will spread across the nation, reaching everywhere, touching 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people, 4 million, 5 million. What is touched will be contaminated, and those contaminated will produce mutations. Some will be mutations like myself, with powers and abilities far beyond those of ordinary men. Others will be monstrosities, yet still they will represent the future of mankind, a future I will control. Right, galaxies, the man's insane.
These are really excellent drawings. Really nice. I was planning to do this eventually, but your efforts to stop the Protector forced my hands. He and I have a stake in Earth's evolution environmental pollution. He can't be stopped, or we can't be stopped, not even by you, Superman. Perhaps not, but I'm sure gonna try. This madman is overloading the plant's atomic pile, but maybe with heat vision, I can melt the control rods in the main reactor, cause them to drop directly into the pile, and thus dampen it before it gets beyond control. It's working. The pile stopped glowing. Did it! Now I can concentrate on freeing myself. Steel muscles ripple and strain. A granite chest heaves. And in the early morning sunlight, a gleaming globular prison buckles and then explodes. This cop goes flying. This guy too.
Onion gum.
Ew. Ew. Drop
Worms.
those in seemingly innocent pellets into a glass of water. Yuck.
That's so weird.
I would have probably wanted to do that to my sister. Yeah. So that radioactive crazy is escaping, and I'm too groggy to follow. Did I win the round or lose the war? Hurrah, Superman, hurrah!
The cheering fades with time and distance, and long after the last hurrah, the melancholy man of tomorrow finds himself alone once more, having returned to his fortress of solitude. So what does it all boil down to? Am I Kal-El, son of Krypton, or Clark Kent, native of Smallville? I've always thought myself a man without a home, but now it seems I've got a home, without enemies, or with enemies who want to destroy it. I should be happy, I suppose, but I can't help feeling a little sad. Chunk. Sprites his more of his stuff.
Jeez.
I'm ready now, I think. I've had my time for thought. I don't know all the answers about myself, but I do know this. It's time for a resolution.
That's just like a little aside. He's a pouting little
He's
teenager.
Very angsty in this one.
But these are really nice drawings.
That's cool.
This would be a great poster. 6,000 miles south. You should have finished him. You could have, but you quit. I retreated. There's a difference, you pup. I spent years living in secrecy, planning, waiting, working for the proper moment, and now it's all been wasted because of you. That's right. Blame me when you're the one who... Gentlemen, this is no time to argue. In case you haven't noticed, you're in trouble. Deep, deep trouble. Superman! You were a fool to come here, Superman. This is my home ground. Here, I can destroy you. Perhaps, but you'll have to hit me first. And since I'm not in a static mood, you may find that difficult. Isn't that right, Protector? And heat vision can't harm me, Kryptonian, or your heat vision can't harm me, Kryptonian. Not when I can alter my molecules and reflect your heat beams like a living mirror. Are you getting an idea? Between us, Radion and I are invincible. All right, take it home.
I figured you might say that, Protector, and that's why I'm not fighting either of you head on. Stay still, blast you, I can't get a direct shot. That's the idea, Radion. I want you to track me with your radioactive blasts. I want you to follow me in a circle, and then before you know it, I'll be gone. And your new target will be... Protector, no! And since I tricked the Protector into becoming a reflecting surface, Radion's last target will be himself. Zam!
So even though he's being a little teenager, a little whiny brat this episode, he still has the mind to put that together before he even got
Wonder
there.
Woman figure.
Yikes!
And Batcopter, they're a little squeezed in there. They're cozy.
Why do they do that to
The
Batman?
Green Arrow car. Those Mego figures are really goofy looking.
Look at him.
Mr. Mixaplictic.
He looks like, what's her name from Scooby-Doo?
Velma?
Velma.
Yeah.
Oh, he's portly.
All those Megos were a little funky looking. They're a little...
That's crazy.
They've got like soft arms and legs, I think.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen pictures of them in the old Wizard magazines. They would do little skits with them and photograph them.
That's funny. So 2 unconscious bodies fall like dead weights. And then the ironic part is They and I have so much in common. We were all victims of mutation, yet they turned their powers against the normal world, while what did I do? Or what do I do? I've lived a life which now seems to be a lie. Perhaps it's time I change my life and give it new meaning. But change it to what? A poignant question, Superman, which can only be answered after we learn Professor Pepperwinkle's discovery. A discovery even now being made by other people somewhere else, in a place which for now will remain unidentified. Look, my friends, a fleet of space-going warships headed for the planet Zon. Once, it would be a job for Superman, but now I am not so sure. True, we have caused him to abandon his Kryptonian heritage. Yet, now I wonder if we doomed a world by doing so, or by so doing. If we have, then we have also doomed ourselves. If Zon falls, can Earth be far behind? And in that darkened place, without a name, there is a sudden, brooding silence, a silence filled with fear. Next issue, the climatic conclusion, Blind Heroes Bluff.
I like that last panel.
Yeah, it's very vibrant, Superman. Ew, that mailbag looks like a turd.
DC Superstars womp Marvel 12-3.
Hulk. It's interesting and
Ovaltine.
weird the way, all the different ways they draw Hulk.
I know, his character design fluctuates a ton. So yeah, within a year of each other, a couple Marvel and DC classics. And if you enjoyed watching this, give us a like, and we'd love for you to subscribe and comment. And thanks for watching.